I just realized I made a mistake putting a mint in my mouth about a minute ago. Hold on, Matt. There we go. I'm kind of running a little low this afternoon. I don't know why. But actually, I love this song. I really do love the beat on this song. The years going by, man. I mean, you know, this. Oh, man, I could just take off right now in my freaking car as fast as I can go, as far as I can go, and then figure out the next step then. Because, baby, I'm running on empty right now, Mama. Bring it home with a Kimmer and a crew. Look out. Here we go.
You could not do that right now.
Let's go. Da, 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 da. We're playing rock and roll all day. I just changed the format. Oh, my God. All right, get them out. Get the records out. Flounder. We're playing rock and roll. Mercy. Look out, 304. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. And 106.3 with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Pete, how are you today, sir?
Pretty good, and there's far too much Braves traffic right now for you to get in your car and go anywhere.
You know, I wasn't going to talk about traffic, but since you mentioned it, let me tell you. Well, first of all, I have Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls, here with us today, loading things in. Now, I haven't seen Mr. Wizard. Is he not with us again?
Well, there might be an issue because of the Braves game and parking and being able to get in and out of the battery.
It's a madhouse. But Liberal Joe's here, our morning Liberal Joe, who actually is a working worker. And in fact, I had to correct. Yesterday we were talking. I found out Joe's a horse guy. Joe's a horse guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not too bad.
A horse.
Something else.
Do you own a horse now, or just ride them, or what?
I don't own any. I worked at a camp where I taught kids how to ride horses and take care of them.
Yeah. And I saw the pictures of you riding,
summers
so
ago.
I know you're a rider, yeah.
I learned how to ride them, and I love them.
Yeah.
They're great.
Well, and I showed you pictures of my Jack the Good Boy who crossed the Rainbow Bridge here over a year ago. And I go to the stable every weekend just to take videos of horses and put them on my Facebook page and Rumble and stuff like that. So anyway, and I was telling Joe, by the way, if you're a horse fan, I'll make this very quick. I'm sorry. It's only like 1/1,000,000% care about this. If you want to see how you can control horses and a whole different way of doing it, which I did with Jack the Good Boy, is called natural horsemanship, or Pirelli training. I think it's Parelli, maybe was the guy who found it. And I took the Pirelli training and no longer used a bridle. It's all hand signals and rope. And so, I mean, it's really fun. It's fun to watch how they do it. Anyway, boys, good to see you. How everybody doing? All right? Braves win, right? We won. It was like 9-7 or 5-7-5 or something like that.
7-5.
7-5. There you go. And Pete will have Holy Crap at Sports later. And in fact, we got a whole bunch of sports things, including, I noticed, Northwestern University is now even in more trouble, apparently. It fits all sexes, and a whole bunch of sports are going on. What's going on up there? Anyway, we'll get to that later. The reason we're playing Jackson Browne was because I'll go ahead and put it back on again, Flounder. While I'm talking about it, might as well hear his music. It was on this day in 2009 that Jackson Browne settled his lawsuit against Senator John McCain and the Republican Party after this running on empty hit from 1977 was used without permission in 2008 with McCain's presidential campaign. It was on TV and the internet. McCain and the GOP apologized for using the song in the ad and said McCain himself had no knowledge of it, or the creation of the distribution of the video. So they apologized to Jackson Browne, who clearly didn't want to be linked to the, which is, fine. You have that right. So you go ahead and, But I like his other. In fact, I was going to make a joke with Flounder because Flounder picks out the music. It's Flounder's music time. He does whatever he wants, and that's fine by me. And he picked out, of all the Jackson Browne selections, he picked out Running on Empty, which I really do like as a song. And that's probably his most famous song, wouldn't you say? I mean, he's known for that, I think, probably.
Dr. My Eyes is pretty big, too.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. But anyway, but my two favorites are Somebody's Baby and the Stay Loadout song, which Pete Davis got for me on a CD like 20 years ago, if I remember correctly.
And the one reason I put it on is because it was Running on Empty is the name that was on the list.
It was perfect sense. And I was going to make a joke saying, well, my favorite song is Somebody's Baby. And I was like, yeah. but then I talked to you about it. Of course, that ruined the surprise. So I didn't. But anyway, so that's a scoop. And by the way, the other song, the Stay Loadout song is a haunt. I love the music of it. He's a piano player. I mean, it's just a wonderful song and it's kind of lonely where we spend our time walking around the hotel or backstage until we hear the sound of the crowd, know why we came here. I mean, it's a beautiful lyric and a beautiful live medley song from after one of his concerts. Anyway, okay. Now I haven't even done anything. Oh my God, it's 3:08 already. Okay, birthday list. Donna Dixon. Okay, all right, Donna. 66 years old today. Garth's dream woman in Wayne's World. Tom Hanks's dream woman on Bosom Buddies, and wasn't she maybe still, I don't know, married to Dan Aykroyd?
Used to be.
And so she's free now?
I think so.
Well, I wonder whether the Rhino has got her on the list of the. Apparently, they're making some thing trying to get me a girl. I don't know. The morning. I guess the morning crew's got me now on Hinge.com. Or is that a thing, or is that what
Unhinged?
Unhinged.com. That's probably it. Anyway, and by the way, for the record, if you guys think for a minute that you're going to have like some hidden freaking camera, following the Kimmer around on the Kimmer's secret love nest at the Ritz-Carlton for the weekend of love of the senior silver works of the loving of the old couple. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know what you think the end game is going to be here, or the bottom line.
Any of you
homos touch me, I'll kill you. I'm spitting over myself. My God, man. By the way, later on, I'm in a goofy mood. We got so many great news things. We're going to hear a lot of sound today, make fun of people, and just have a lot of fun today. And I'm in a totally goofy mood, completely exhausted. I don't know what's going on. And later on, I noticed on our dead people birthday list is a name of a woman I had a crush on from the first time I saw her, and still do to this day. And there's a long story about her and some other famous actors linked together in a bizarre, tragic, and series of events, which I'm going to, when I have some time later today, I'm going to talk about that on our birthday list. Also, one quick historical note. Let's see where we... Oh, yeah. 30 years ago today, 1993. Can you believe 1993 was 30 years ago? All right. Vince Foster, led by Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, taking Vince Foster, the deputy White House counsel, by the hand, putting a gun to his head and blowing his brains out in a park near Washington, D.C., while her husband, Bill Clinton, was president of the United States. And she got away with the murder, and so far the Democrats are...
Allegedly.
Well, I'm a news reporter. I can say what's true or not just by my own opinion. There's no... In fact, tell me where it's written down that I can't say I'm now the Kim Peterson news reporter, and my story is that Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage killed him. And you know why he's dead? Because Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage embarrassed and humiliated him so badly in front of her entire staff, like the day before, that he went crying into the parking lot and had to be consoled by everybody. And then suddenly he turns up dead. So, you call it what you want, but as a news reporter in today's modern America, where there's no freaking standards, and by the way, there's no rules either. Tell me where there's a rule written why anybody on television right now had to pass anything to get that job. Anybody. Well, what test did they take?
They have to be pretty.
Yeah, there you are. Well, I'm not pretty, but by God, I used to be. So I used to be pretty. I was damn pretty. I was pretty, damn it. I was a handsome... Oh,
you have to have hair, too. So
I had a little
disqualified.
My God. All right. Excuse me. Oh, wait a minute. Now who is this now? I don't know if I want to get into this. He's going to have to hold. I'm not in a freaking mood. You're gonna hear from the RFK hearing, the Democrats, and by the way, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who started this, tried to go into executive session to censor Robert Kennedy and a hearing about censorship. I mean, it's absolutely disgraceful. And the Democrats are just doing everything they can. It didn't work. Well, you'll hear him. You'll also hear Marjorie Taylor Greene outing the Hunter Biden thing from yesterday, but nobody else. You can't hear it anywhere on the mainstream media. So we're going to play her comments for you, which are beautiful. Senator John Kennedy. Wait till you hear this guy. And we've got the New York City mayor's complaining about too many people. Poor baby got another bus of 40 people. Now he's overcrowded. Tweets and Skynet and holy crap at sports and billions of things and the being hinged and horse guy. We got the whole story here. Coming 3:13 already on 106.3 with a gang. Look out. Look out, it's only me, it's only the Kimmer, 314. By the way, you'll also, the story we haven't been covering much because we really don't care about the serial killer in New York City who got caught. I'm going to tell you, share with you how the family found out right after he got arrested and what happened at their house, coming up here in a second. Also, a whole bunch of really fun sound stuff and have a little stuff and ding, ding, ding. But first, I was mentioning just the other day, I had to not park my car in my garage or driveway because I rent a condo, and the condo people had their people painting the garage doors or whatever, so they couldn't park. And I saw them, and I said, whoa, don't be doing anything on my roof now, because I got my own roof, guys. I got Metro Atlanta Roofing and Remodeling, and these are the pros. And if you're looking for somebody to trust, because who knows what's going on up on your roof, especially with this weather, the wind and the storms. I've had my flag ripped off my deck, I think three times in the last couple of weeks. Anyway, so if you have something rattling around, or maybe there's one of those eaves or something, something's going on up there, get the pros. Metro Atlanta Roofing and Remodeling. They're the one. And by the way, you veterans, 10% discount. Pretty nice, 10% discount, veterans, right off the top. Why should you get Metro Atlanta Roofing and Remodeling? Well, for one thing, they surpass your expectations. They are your roofing remodeling partner, storm damage experts, licensed and insured, A+ business rating. Barry Reese is a licensed insurance adjuster. So if you have an insurance claim, you're talking to people and they're jerking you around, you're not gonna jerk his chain, because he knows all about that stuff. Valleys and chimneys and skylights protected with ice shields and water shields, the rakes and the eaves. I don't know about all this stuff. If you need a new roof, though, remember this. A new roof, full roof replacement has a lifetime warranty for materials and labor. You have a leak, it's 100% warranty on that baby, too. Free drone inspections. They'll take care of your soffit. Sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to be offensive. Whatever, I don't know what that is. Rafter tails, fascias, flashings, they've got all that stuff. They're the pros. Here's the number, 470-538-1729. On the web, Metro Atlanta Roofing.com. Stand by, 319. Is that Elijah, I think, is on? Hold on, we'll get to you. Hold on, stand by. 319 with a Kimmer. And Pete Davis and Flounder. And I guess Mr. Wizard can't make it back from the ball game.
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, he's here?
He's here.
Yeah.
He made it.
I was going to say, it was a little crowded around here last
Parking
couple
was atrocious.
Tell me about it. It was atrocious at noon, too.
But Kimmer, don't worry. The national nightmare is over. The Braves have won a baseball game.
Yes, they broke their 0-4 record there, so that's good. In a row. That's good. Anyway, here are the Rolling Stones reporting a gross income on this day in 1999. After, 30 years of touring, 1999, the Stones reported a gross income of $337 million from 2 years of touring. The No Security and Bridge to Babylon tours. They played 5.5 million people. 2 years in the late 90s, $337 million. Man, I don't know why I had no idea that they would... I guess when you charge $500 a ticket or something, gee whiz. Anyway, good for you. They deserve it. They're good. They're big. Let's see. Birthday Scout Willis, Bruce Willis's daughter with Demi. When she become Demi, by the way? Anyway, with Demi Moore. Bruce Willis's daughter Scout is 32 today. Julianne Hough, the country singer, former Dancing with the Stars pro, and star of Footloose. Well, what do you talk? Well, the modern, maybe the new. Isn't there a new version of Footloose? Yeah, because the other one with 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon there.
Kevin Bacon.
Rock of Ages, Grease Live, stuff like that. Anyway, Julianne Hough is 35 years old today, just for the record. And let's see, hold on, one historical note here. And I promise we have actual topics, and we'll play some stuff right here in a second. 1994, O.J. Simpson put up a $500,000 reward for the capture of his wife, real killers. And then he wrote the check out to himself and went to play golf. So that's kind of a special thing. Okay, billions of things. The Democrat, this is so appalling. In fact, we're going to get our phone call right after to talk about how disgusting these Democrats are, proving it once again today. House a committee talking about the censorship of the China kill virus business that's been going on for several years now. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was invited by Republicans to give his testimony, and right off the bat, the Democrats tried to censor him at the censorship hearing. It was a censorship hearing, and they censored him. It didn't work because they're scumbags, and scumbags don't win all the time. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who, by the way, is a criminal. Remember, she kept that guy on the books that was, scoundreling everybody and leaking stuff and everything else. She also, bull crap, she also helped Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage sandbag Bernie Sanders for his campaign.
Yeah, she did do that.
She did all this stuff. Anyway, so she wanted everything to go into an executive session which is not used for that. She wanted to send to them. She did not want the public to hear what he had to say. All right, before we go any too farther, Flounder has some. Let's play one of the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sound bites where he is talking. They slandered and libeled him. They called him a racist and all kinds of stuff. Here's some of the comments today.
I was censored not just by the Democratic administration. I was censored by the Trump administration. I was the first person censored by, as the chairman pointed out, by the Biden administration 2 days after it came into office. It ordered a truthful, and by the way, they had to invent a new word called malinformation.
Yep, malinformation.
To censor people like me. There was no misinformation on my Instagram account. Everything I put on that account was cited and sourced. The peer-reviewed publications or government databases. Nobody has ever pointed to a single piece of misinformation that I publish. I was removed for something they called malinformation.
Well, Wasserman Schultz, the lying Democrat, said he had made despicable, anti-Semitic, anti-Asian comments in the last few days, referring to a comment that COVID may have been ethnically targeted because those who are most immune appear to be Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. RFK Jr. later said that's nonsense, had nothing to do with it. The Democrats smeared him and slandered him and libeled and then tried to get him into executive session where nobody could freaking hear him. And he reminded him, people, says, remember, he said he used his opening remarks to lament the efforts to censor him and the broader efforts to censor his run for the White House. Remember, he's running against President Crime Family. President White Trash, and he says censorship is antithetical to our party. At least it used to be. It was appalling to my father, to my uncle, to FDR, to Harry Truman, to Thomas Jefferson. As the chairman referred to, it is the basis for democracy. The First Amendment was not written for easy speech. It was written for the speech that nobody likes but you. Just unbelievable, unbelievable. And by the way, you got so much more. There's now more about the crime family coercing, and more proof that they got Ukraine to pay him millions of dollars. And you'll hear President White Trash bragging about how he got the DA taken off the case on Hunter too. And Marjorie Taylor Greene coming up here first. I think this is Elijah, if I'm reading the name right. It's been waiting a very long time. Thanks for holding. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. What's up?
Hey, Kimmer, thanks for taking my call. I was listening yesterday, and I heard you say, hey, even if you hate the Kimmer, call up.
Sure.
So I couldn't call yesterday, but I thought I'd call today.
Please do.
I want to run a couple things by you that I disagree with you on, and just see what you think.
Okay.
The stock market keeps hitting record highs. The border, since May, illegal crossings are down 42%.
Come
Yeah, last month, 99,545 people.
Oh, that's way low.
Border.
Oh, wow.
That's the first time it's been below 100,000 in 2 years.
God, so all those 8 million that came in, we don't count those, I guess, though. That's fine, though.
And Kimmer, inflation is now below 3%, the lowest it's been in 2 years. Below 3%.
No.
And, Putin is trying to fight down the mutinies and keep his country together, and China's trade deficit and their GDP's
You can buy an egg now.
Elijah, okay, look, I know everything you say is what the Democrats are saying, and the fact of the matter is, I don't believe you really believe this. I don't really believe that you think that you would brag about the President of the United States and the job he's done for this country in the last 2 years. Are you telling me, compared to where we were when Donald Trump was president and where we are now, that you think he's done a wonderful job and he's competent and a great president? You vote for him again. You're proud of his work. You think the world treasures the fact that we have a wonderful president. Would you agree that those things are true? Do you believe that?
Well, I would say that Biden fixed the mess that Trump left us much quicker.
You're lying. You're lying. You're just lying. This is not. You don't believe that. You don't believe that. There was no mess that Trump left. What mess?
It was a big mess. Inflation went crazy.
Oh my God!
And we weren't respected around the world.
And now
we're leading the world more than ever.
We're respected more than ever around. Okay, that's it. When you bullcrap me, man, that's bourgeois. And you almost had me going pretty good. But again, if you really want to truly make a point, if when you tell me that you think the world has more respect for Joe Biden than they did for Donald Trump, that they have more respect for what we're doing in America now than they did before, you're a freaking liar. You're a dirty, stinking liar. You know that's not true. The facts don't bear it out. Everybody in the world is laughing at him, and so are we, and so are you. That's why they're trying to hide him. You dirty, freaking lying Democrats. And by the way, thank you, Georgia, for electing a couple people like that to the Senate.
Let's start with the stock market thing. First of all, when's the last time the stock market had anything to do with middle America? They've left us far behind.
Yeah.
Second of all, there's like 4 or 5 of the Silicon Valley companies and stuff, the AI stuff. That's what's holding up the stock market right now. Almost all the other blue-collar stocks are either flat or down.
It's all
and once
fake.
the AI bubble blows,
it's
all going to go.
It's fake. I'm telling you, what's going on now, I don't trust anything, but especially with this AI business. Pete, that's the most important point right now. I don't trust any statistics or mathematical formulas about what's happening because it's way out of my bailiwick. I don't get it. And
nobody knows the official count anywhere near the border. No, we have probably 17 million undocumented invaders in our country right now. 17 million. And he's talking about it's gone down to 100,000. It should be 0.
And by the way, you and your wonderful policies, Elijah, how about this, just for the record? And now they're blaming the Border Patrol. A report just came out. The Border Patrol does not have the medical needs to take care of children with health issues after an 8-year-old girl died. She was from Panama. She was in federal custody in Harlingen, Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley, one of the busiest migrant crossing areas, Elijah. And she had a heart condition and she freaking died. And now they're blaming the Border Patrol. I got an idea. Why don't we solve all the problems of little girls having sicknesses coming to America by closing the border? Just off the top of my head, I really thought about it. Pete, am I wrong? We could just maybe close the freaking border, and then instead of blaming the Border Patrol.
Yeah.
Blaming the Border Patrol for a little girl dying. How about keeping her in freaking Panama? You dirty, stinking liars. Here's the other thing. There are more and more children and young people dying. The overdose of deaths involving opioids with cocaine and meth now. Age-adjusted overdose deaths involving opioids and cocaine quintupled. Since 2011, 2021, 500%. In 2021 alone, 80% of the 24,000 cocaine deaths involved opioids, which come across the border. Close the border. And you think this is a great situation with your president you're so proud of, Elijah? You dirty, filthy liar. Oh, my God.
At least we can buy eggs for the first time in 2 years.
Jeez. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, what a country. 3:30. All right, we're just starting, baby. them perform together on stage with Carlos. Yeah. You don't like him, huh?
The most overrated Che Guevara loving piece of blank.
No, see, I have no idea that he was a Che Guevara loving guy.
He wears T-shirts all the time. He worships him.
Yeah, Che Guevara, of course, the murderer that people love and the left seem to love. And by the way, if you call, we're a talk show, and people these days aren't making a lot of radio phone calls. They're doing more things on YouTube. Oh, by the way, did we ever get? We never did the reaction to something on YouTube. If you have those coming up there, you can get those if you feel like it. I think Mr. Wizard, maybe a morning show might have that. We'll get to it in a second. But if you call up and you're just saying, stupid things about, you MAGA people hate trannies, that's just not, it's stupid.
Not true.
I mean, that's not a talk. That's not, debating whether or not you think that the bills passed by the Georgia legislature so you can't cut off the balls of a 9-year-old boy are good or not. I mean, if you want to debate that, that's fine. But don't be calling up and say, you damn Republicans hate trannies. That's not true. I don't give a damn about trannies. I love trannies. I don't care. Either way, fine. If you're a tranny, be a tranny. I know guys who are tranny. A guy on my Facebook friends is a tranny. I don't care. Fine. But don't, he's not trying to make me convert it's just stupid. Don't, if you want to call up and have fun, let's have fun, but don't just make dumb things and lie like that just to get on the radio and I probably got on the Kimmer show today and called him a dad.
Carol Forrest on YouTube said, was that Michael Graham that just called in?
He knows better.
Remember his last day? Because the day before I told him I was going to kill him. and I was walking with our boss when he did that thing about me, and I walked and I was so furious, and the boss was trying to calm me down, walking with me through the sales department, and I'm screaming and yelling what I'm going to do to Michael Browne the next day when he comes in, and I'm going to be here waiting for him in the morning, and all the heads are popping up in the sales cubicles. Oh my God, Cameron, what happened? Anyway, so they told him, stay home, you just had your last day. Anyway, sorry for the memory. I don't even know where. Oh, YouTube. Comment on YouTube. Anything up before we go move along? Okay, fine. Sorry.
There's nobody there.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just here, God. Sandra Oh, the well-known actress, is 52. Dr. Christina Yang on Grey's Anatomy. And she's been in a lot of... Isn't she in that new The Water is Everywhere movie or whatever the hell that is?
She was in Sideways, which was a really good movie.
Oh, that was that weird drinking wine movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With Paul Giamatti and the big giant guy and the other
Thomas
guy from Wings.
Yeah, Church. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was, and so I remember some nude guy who chased him in a car down the street.
Was it Virginia Madsen in that too? I've always had the hots for her.
Yeah, she had she had the look.
She's still good looking.
Yeah, she may not have been what you would call classically sexy or beautiful or like that, but she definitely had a look. She was a very sexy woman. She definitely had that natural kind of thing there going. All right, here we go. By the way, we had so many. Here we go. Here's Scotty the window guy, and two, I think, boys, if you don't mind. Hey, Scotty, how's it going, man? What's up?
Well, Semper Fi, welcome home, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the last couple of calls, man, really got you worked up.
Well, it's stupid.
I missed the whole rant because you weren't working on YouTube. They were on Democrat time, I guess. But, man, you just need to calm down.
Yeah.
Don't have another heart attack.
Never
You're only
happened.
3 weeks into this.
It never happened. All right, Scott.
right.
Thanks, man. I got to go. You're killing me. And who's there's somebody on, is that, I can't see, Lori or Loxie? I think it's Lori, on line. Hi, Lori. You're on the radio. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Timber. I'm a Timber Bay. This is Laurie from Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, hi, Lori. How's it going?
Hi, you guys. I'm calling to stand up for you. I'm so happy that you chewed them out. Because you know what? Why didn't you should have asked him, well, are you a hater of the MAGA people? I mean, it's okay they say that we hate, but they never say they hate. They hate. They're haters.
Yeah, they are. They're haters. What really kills me, though, is because I don't, normally I don't think those people are like that. It all, honestly, Donald Trump is still living in their head. This all goes back to Donald Trump. The wave started with the liberal movement when Donald Trump came down that escalator legislator, and it's, anti-Trump, and therefore all of a sudden anybody who likes Donald Trump is therefore a racist and a bigot and hates women and all. And I'm like, oh my God! And all the misquotes, all the media, the Department of Justice, everybody against Donald Trump. So the whole, my daughters think Donald Trump ought to be in prison. My daughters are the most wonderful girls you'll ever know. They're as liberal as hell, but they have signs on the doors that say, "We love everybody here. Come on in, take whatever you want. If you need a car, take a car. Hope you bring it back." It's unfreaking believable. You need a place to live, so we'll keep you up for a couple of months till you get on your feet. No. They'll do anything for you, but they hate the whole conservative Republican movement. So this all, and they got swept up into it. They don't really believe this stuff. They're not really anti-American, but people are getting swept up in this stuff. And then you hear the true leaders like Elijah, who are just freaking liars, and it's just it's hard to fight.
Elijah was like he has drank the Kool-Aid, the jug, and the river.
He had a straw in there, an IV.
My God.
Lori, are your lady friends like you? Are the women of America ready to stand up? I wonder what there's so much silence going about the women of America with this whole tranny thing, and all of a sudden, a man has to be the leader of who's a woman these days and stuff. I don't get it.
I'm so happy that my children are grown. I've got a grandson that's 5. And I've been telling him since he come out of his mother, you have a penis and you're a boy. And my daughter was like, Mom. But she was like, oh, my God, I'm glad you did. I was like, yeah, he's going to know that because I just knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But
again, it's...
And I'm like, I would go to the back. I'm telling you what, these parents, I can't believe... I'm like you. Where are they saying that these girls has got to go in a room with a boy?
Yeah. I would never allow it. If my daughter had come home at the age of 12 and said she had to go into the ladies' locker room and watch a boy's penis in front of her, I'd have gone to that school so fast it would have made your head spin.
I'd have been in prison because I'd have gutted him. I would have gutted him.
So how is it possible that they're getting away with it? Every day we're reading more stories like this.
I've got to believe that a silent one is it's fixing to happen. I just feel like there's something fixing to blow up.
Lori, I hope so. I hope so.
Well, I love you guys.
Thank you, sweetie. All right.
Pete.
Pete. Yeah. He's there.
You be easy on us Mobile, Alabama people.
All in good fun, Lori. All in good. Oh, she hung up. True Kimmer babe right there. 357 with a Kimmer Pete. I just don't understand it. And again, the Democrats never used to be like that. They were never haters and dividers. They were just liberal. They were saying, we need unions to protect us, and you can say whatever you want. Don't get in trouble because you said a bad word. My God, that's all gone. Yeah, it's exactly the opposite now.
Well, they're Marxists. They're not Democrats anymore. We're calling them the wrong name.
Yeah, but why they would follow these leaders? I'm telling you, now maybe if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ever gets into that issue of where the Democrat Party's actually going, maybe maybe that would be the beginning of the groundswell to say, well, we ought to start taking him seriously.
I'd tell you right now, if he could speak plainly and not have to struggle, I think he'd already be the. I mean, they are afraid of him.
Yeah, it's a disease. His voice he has a disease, and he can't repair it or fix it. We're almost out of time. Coming up, we're going to talk about not only you'll hear more about them trying to censor him, but new documents released today by Senator Chuck Grassley are now showing in unclassified FBI documents the criminal bribery scheme with then Vice President crime family Joe Showers with daughter and a Ukrainian business executive. The names are there. Multiple meetings. The top executive of the Burisma Ukrainian natural gas firm said he was coerced into paying Joe and Hunter Biden millions of dollars for the Ukrainian prosecutor. You're going to hear President Crime Family bragging about getting rid of him, but you're also going to hear about how a Russian criminal slang word is used in the deals being used as defined as forced or coerced to pay, and they've got audio recordings and transcripts and documents proving once again your criminal as president of the United States has so far gotten away with it. But there's more documents, and that was released today. We'll come back and talk about that. You're going to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene. You'll hear here. You won't hear on any other radio station or TV outing on the Hunter thing. And wait till you hear about what happened to how you liberals like today's military. Wait till you hear what they're doing, speaking of trannies in the military. If you don't think that's offensive, stand by, baby. Coming up, it's 4 o'clock with Kimmer Pete Flounder and Morning Joe and Mr. Wizard. Look out. Here we go. into Burisma made public it would have a substantial impact on his prospective IPO in the United States. He said, don't worry, Hunter will take care of those issues through his dad. And they didn't ask any further questions about what actually he specifically meant. Hunter advised Burisma could raise a lot more capital if they purchased a larger U.S. company that already had a history in the U.S. oil and gas sector. It'd be problematic to be raising capital in America given his investigation into Burisma. So they said, well, gee, why don't we give... Well, remember, this was the funny part. Originally, the head of this guy said it would be best if Burisma simply litigate the matter in Ukraine and pay the attorney $50,000, which would likely lose the trial because he'd show up that Burisma was innocent. And then he said, no, the number of $50,000, it doesn't cost $50,000 for the Bidens. It costs $5 million for one Biden and $5 million to the second Biden. I mean, this is all written down. They asked whether he's concerned about Burisma's involvement with the Bidens. He said he didn't want to pay the Bidens. He was pushed to pay them. He used to explain the payments. Well, this is the word. FBI agent taking notes of the conversation. An FBI agent taking notes of the conversation through this source said the Russian term used to explain the payments was получили. Получили, according to the form, states literally translates to got it or received it, and in Russian criminal slang, it says forced or coerced to pay. Then he just got fired, and they'll say, well, nobody's going to find out about the financial dealings with the Bidens. He said, I hope you have some backup or proof for your words, namely that Zalewski was forced to pay the Bidens. The other guy replied, he has many text messages and recordings that show that he was coerced to make such payments. He told this guy Zalewski he would make certain that he should retain those recordings. Golly, it reminds me of Bill Clinton telling Monica Lewinsky, you know, baby, if you still have that blue dress, if they ask you for it, you have to turn it over. If you still have it and haven't gotten rid of it yet, if you still have it, you have to turn it over. If you still have it. Jeez, Mary Louise. I mean, it's boom. Here we are again. Holy smokes. All right, it's 4:10. Now, let's keep going. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I love this. Remember, late today, yesterday in the show, we found out that Marjorie Taylor Greene, at the hearing, excuse me, into the IRS scandal and the federal Gestapo investigation and the Department of Justice scandal, that Marjorie Taylor Greene started holding up naked pictures of Hunter Biden getting a humidity from a young chickie, and then proving that he probably violated the Slavery Act. Can we have a little soundbite of Marjorie there, Flounder Julie?
When Hunter Biden paid for this woman to do this with him, to travel across state lines from California to Washington, D.C. on June 15th, this is a violation of the Mann Act. This was prostitution.
Yep, across state lines. When Hunter paid for him to do that with a travel across state lines, it was a violation of the Mann Act. Most people write off things for their taxes through business, like a meal or something. Can you confirm for me that Hunter Biden had written off payments to prostitutes through his law firm? And by the way, as soon as she shows, she pulled out photos in the compromising position, and they also showed, I don't see it now, they showed images of a receipt for the United Airlines plane ticket for the woman on a flight from L.A. to Dulles Airport in Northern Virginia, which is crossing state lines for the sole purpose of sex. Boom, pow, wang. I mean, holy criminy.
Wang.
Well, manner speaking, just as a colloquial. And by the way, 411, how about Senator John Kennedy? This guy, he came out of nowhere a couple of years ago when the Democrats started going nuts. He reminds me of I'm just an old country lawyer, old John Irvin from the Watergate, but just an old country lawyer. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, of all places, has said, boy, our Attorney General is he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place lately, isn't he, with all this scandal stuff?
Have you ever flushed the toilet and the water starts rising? You go, dang, I got a problem here, and I think that's where the Attorney General is. He thought he had finessed the prosecution of Mr. Hunter Biden. He had palmed it off on another prosecutor. Plea deal was reached. Pretty favorable to Mr. Hunter Biden. He just didn't count on the whistleblowers.
It's unbelievable. Oh, mercy. Let's see. Here's, is that Carrie? I think we have a phone call with actual Carrie on line 3. I think, well, that's 2 or 3.
Let me get...
that says 2. I have there's Carrie. Now we got both of them on. We'll take them together. We got Lucas and Carrie.
No, we got Carrie.
We got Carrie. Carrie, how's it going, man? You're on the radio. What's up? Hello.
Yeah, also Terry, so that's a little confusing. I guess I'm the second caller here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, are you Carrie?
Well, I got just a real quickie.
Yes, please do.
I used to know you at Earl Small's Harley and fly the helicopter in and all that stuff.
Oh, my God, absolutely. Yes.
I just wanted to tell you, it's so good to have you back, but a great example of why it was just last half hour when you did that MAGA transgender duet musical with that,
spoken word.
That's why I'll never be successful.
Oh man! Now we're talking about the old Kimmer. We're talking about you never know when the genius is just going to come tumbling out of nowhere. You got to listen every minute. So anyway, that's from me to you. Thanks for that, and thanks for being back.
Thank you, Gary.
Genius.
True genius. All right.
You know what's funny? You called it a duet. You were the only one saying it. He was doing spoken word the entire time.
I mean, my God. Really. Whoever heard of such a thing? 4:14 already. Time for the 4:13 break. Here we go. Stand by. Hey, look out. How's it going? 420. It's only the Kimmer on 106.3 with Pete Davis and Flounder and Mr. Wizards there. And Morning Liberal Joe is with us, I believe, still. It's good to have you guys aboard. And as we speak, remember, you may not feel safe in America these days because of the defunding police and Second Amendment people trying to do stuff. But Atlanta's Safe House got you covered. If you need things to be taken care of and you need to protect your assets, Atlanta Safe House. I bought 2 of the big gun safes from, but they have business safes and jewelry safes, high security safes. How about the big red safe? Ask about it when you get a hold of the Atlanta Safe House at atlantasafehouse.com. And now, here's Cream. They were like half, I was in the Marines then in 68 when this was big. I never really quite got these guys. 1968, Cream began a 4-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album chart with Wheels of Fire. The double album consisted of a studio and a live record, reached number 3 in Britain. You know, honestly, this 1968, well, I know where I was. I never remember ever hearing a Cream song in the 60s. I mean, that's just weird. Anyway, all right. A couple things. We got phone calls. First, a quick birthday or two here. Let's see who we got here. I don't even know that guy. Who's that guy? No. All right, well, John Francis Daly. He's an actor. He was Lance Sweets on Bones, and he's 38 years old. John Francis Daly. I think he's that little guy who was the warden in Green Mile. Where is that smarmy little dweeby guy in Green Mile, I think. John Francis Daly. I don't know. All right, and hold on. One more thing here. Let's see. History note. Oh, yeah, I remember 1984. Vanessa Williams was asked to resign as Miss America after naughty lesbian pictures of her were published in Penthouse.
I have that magazine.
I have Ixnay on the eye of the other thing there. She relinquished the title 3 days after they asked her to. Man, and by the way, I remember doing it on the radio.
Excuse me?
I remember describing the pictures opening the magazine on the radio, and wow, it was yeah. I was very shocked, let's say. I mean, I was delightfully shocked, but I was it's one thing if you're, a woman kissing another girl in a like a sweet pose of sweetness or something is one thing, but she was doing a lot more than kissing a girl. Way more than kissing a girl. So anyway, oh God, we haven't done anything. It's my fault. I mean, we haven't done Pete's Tweets. We haven't done Skynet. We want to play another Robert Kennedy Jr. I got a comedy bit to play.
You haven't done Skynet in a week.
I know. I know. I got to do better. And I want. There it is now. All right. And hold on, Lucas. I'll be right with you. I promise you're next on actual phones. Pete Davis, a little Skynet action. What do you got for us, sir?
There is a movie trailer out. A movie's coming out later this year. Don't know exactly when. It's called The Creator. Have you heard it?
I have not heard about it, no.
It's basically set 10 years in the future. Supposedly, we got AI to kind of run things, and of course, it goes bad. It goes Skynet on us.
Yeah.
And they create little bitty armies of their own, right? So they have their own soldiers. And what gets me is it looks like a pretty decent movie. It looks like, Terminator type of version of that.
Yeah.
But these soldiers that AI creates, their little robots, have this head thing that looks like a Chinese or Asian hat.
Huh.
And I'm wondering if they're going to catch any crap over that because it looks like their entire army is the Chinese army from like 1740.
Oh, when they made the little clay army people and buried them in the caves and stuff?
It's just the way the hat looks like you would see an old wood carving of people in the rice field.
I got you. Well, I'll be damned. Well, they must have done it on purpose.
And somebody asked the Eagles' Joe Walsh about AI and music. Okay. And here's his quote: "It's computers. It has nothing to do with music. It can't destroy. It cannot destroy a hotel room. It can't throw a TV. It can't throw a TV off the 5th floor into the pool and get right in the middle. When AI knows how to destroy a hotel room, then I'll pay attention to it."
Well, he was with the Eagles back in the 80s or whatever. So,
Keith Moon did all those things, including driving a Cadillac into a pool.
Into the pool, yes. Sir, I mean, your car's in the pool.
I never saw that car.
Oh, my God. It's 425. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you'd like to call us. By the way, let's take, there's all of a sudden now this phone line is bright yellow. It's a fluorescent bright yellow. I like it. I can read the name better. So can we start using that bright yellow line now, or is that
I don't know
by mistake?
what Virgin Joe has done, but just keep doing it.
What mushrooms you've taken?
I'm telling you, everything else is green or gray, and this one is bright fluorescent yellow. It was because they were both put on at the same time. 2 in line, 2 and 3 were both on at the same time, and then you switched something, and it turned into bright yellow. It's fantastic. Anyway, now are you?
How about we take the call instead?
Why don't we see you on there? Hey, Lucas, how's it going, man? Are you with us? Hello.
Wow.
And now it goes back to hey, hello.
It's the cat.
It's Lucas. Lucas, the
podcat.
podcat. Oh my God. Flounder's cat named Lucas, the podcat. We used to play with us when we did our podcast.
How did he dial the phone with no opposable thumbs?
It's totally incredible. He must have a little visitor. Maybe Miss Veronica dropped off a little her doggy playmate or something who did it for.
She's got a key already, huh?
Oh, well, there you are. Hey, does she have a key?
I have a keyless entry, so
well,
have to give
does
her
she
the
have
code.
her key number?
She has the code.
Now, did you do the Pete Davis special?
What's the Pete Davis special?
The Pete Davis special is where you say, here's the conversation. Pete, you be the girl. All right, no, actually.
Where's this going?
Well, it's going to be going. It's very simple. It's very simple. I can't believe you're not in on it right now thinking about where we've always done this same thing. For example, when Flounder's talking to Miss Veronica and Flounder says, hey, baby, I want to show you how much I love you and trust you, and I'm going to give you the key, the code to my apartment because I trust you so much and I want you to be part of my life in every way. And she says, oh, that's great. What's the code? And you reply...
Well, it's a series of letters and numbers in which you can enter the door.
And my question is, did you do that when she said, what's the code? Did you say, well, it's a series of letters and numbers? And if you did she laugh? And if she laughed, marry her.
Unfortunately, that sequence of events did not happen.
Oh, crap. I mean, if that's the key, if she laughed, if you did that and she laughed, marry her. It'll give you so much more fun to talk about the story of how you got together. It's a little thing with a key code. All right, anyway. By the way, we haven't even talked about Jason Aldean yet. He's gotten more support. And again, I still can't believe... Oh, by the way, was it last night? I think there was a country music extravaganza thing on. And I think it was... I think I wrote a note down. I think Georgia Public Television had one of those series again of the country music special. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to watch it. I think until the Country Music Association starts acting appropriately and the country music television and so forth. Well, his video, Small Town Video, is now getting support from, among others, Travis Tritt. Travis Tritt took to the Twitter folks last night and this morning and said, I'd like to remind my friend Jason Aldean that Twitter and social media in general is not a real place. You know, what a good point. Twitter and social media are not real. The views shared by many accounts on this platform are not actually representative of the vast majority of the population of this country. Say what you want to say and be who you want to be. Damn the social media torpedoes, he concluded. Tritt also defended Jason Aldean from Sheryl freaking Crow, you know, that freaking hippie. She blasted him. He says, I'm from a small town. Even people in small towns are sick of violence, wrote Sheryl Crow. There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone having survived a mass shooting. This is not American or small town like, it's just lame. He's not talking about promoting violence. I mean, what's the matter with you people?
They're deflecting.
So Travis Tritt said, no, wait a minute. If Sheryl Crow was truly sick of violence, she might have condemned the violence of the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots that have been going on in this country since 2020. I'm throwing a major bullmishwak flag here. Jeez, God almighty. And people are saying, yeah, I hope Jason doesn't bend the knee and give the standard apology. And Travis Tritt said, he won't. You're damn right he won't, because he's a freaking American, and we're standing up again because we're not going to take it anymore. How do you like me now? 4:30. You came here to argue.
All
right, play it again. We were talking. Play it again. Play it again.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Play it again.
It's one small step for man.
Did it see?
One giant leap for mankind.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful in every way.
Beautiful.
Except it would have been, if it had been what he wanted to say, it would have been even better.
No.
Anyway, that's my... bastard. 4:39. Oh, my God.
Wait a minute. Did you come here for the 5-minute argument or the 20-minute argument?
Yeah, well, I hope you got a seatbelt because we got a long way to go. By the way, Pete found this story, and I'm absolutely livid about it. And it just goes to show a sign of the times. Is that a phone call, by the way? Is that somebody talking about the thing? Should we take it? Let's take this phone call. See who's on. Hey, you're on the radio. Who is this? I don't know who this is.
Hey, Kimmer, I don't know if you remember me or not, brother. It's Deputy Dan. How are you, man?
Hey, Deputy Dan. Holy smokes, I remember you. What's going on, my friend? What's up?
Man, hey, I tell you what, I was riding down the road I'm no longer Deputy Dan now. I'm just Dan. But
there you go.
I was riding down the road in my truck. Dude, you did that damn... Just so we're clear, as a member of the BLT and G community, when you did that damn training song, I almost fell out of the truck, man. That was the greatest thing ever. If they don't play that at least twice a year, just because, I mean, man, that... God almighty.
These people drive me crazy. I mean, it's just so outrageous.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, even my circle of friends are like, wait a minute, what in the hell is going on? But hey, whatever. Yeah. And by the way, you're absolutely right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It's the same damn word.
Didn't hear one person complain for 70 years.
Thank you, Deputy Dan. And see, I told you, Pete Dan. It's two of us. There's two of us.
a guy that just, your sycophant called up and agreed with you. What a shock.
Oh, I love it. And here's, I think this is Bert, I think, on the radio. We'll keep going. Hello, Bert. You're on the radio.
Kimmer.
Hey, Bert, what's
I'm the
up?
guy that did your Snowball Open trophies years ago.
Oh,
and did your,
by
picture
golly.
your motorcycle on a coffee cup.
I remember that very, very well. And, boy, that was 2003 or 4, as I recall. 2004, I think.
A long time ago, many decades ago.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to call in because I was watching TV when Neil Armstrong was doing that, and there was a side bit of chatter that they said he had misread the teleprompter.
I find it hard to believe, but who knows? The technology may be more than we thought back then. I remember we ran outside. My starter wife and I ran outside and looked up at the moon. It was a beautiful night and clear. We were at Arizona State University and Tempe, living there in a little apartment. And by the way, our apartment back then, it was a beautiful apartment with a pool complex and everything else. $105 a month. $105 a month. Anyway, we looked.
That's not even ground fees more now.
Oh, I know it. And we looked up at that moon, and I thought, holy, they're up there right now. These standing on the moon. And it was really stunning. I mean, when you think of it, really, I mean, we watched that part of history.
I was packing for a 10-day backpack trip in the New Mexico desert with the Boy Scouts going head to Fremont, New Mexico, and when he was walking on the moon, that was incredible.
I'll be darned, man. Thanks for the memories, Deputy Dan. Have a good one. All right, Semper Fi, my friend. 442. And by the way, if you want to join us, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And I say it slowly so you can. I hate guys saying, call us 741-1230, coming up with the rocks and the tax slacks. Pete Davis found the story, and this gets your old blood pressure going. But again, it shouldn't, because it's just typical. And again, I saw that. What's that guy who wears a freaking dress? A Navy admiral now, the number 2 health services guy for the Navy. He's and he wears a dress. He used to be the Pennsylvania Secretary of State guy who saved his mother. Admiral Levine. Rachel Levine is a guy. And by the way, I saw somebody interviewing him, and he was standing. He was being interviewed, and he said, he was talking about the fact that you need to have trannies being able to get their tranny surgery in the military, because that's what helps people stay in the military. And he's standing there wearing a freaking dress. I mean, it make me sick. They made him an admiral. And now, sorry. There's a leaked memo from President White Trash and the Department of Defense revealing an insanely lenient policy to help trannies to skip out of all kinds of other things that other military people in boot camp and assignments have to do. For example, the memo says taxpayer-funded care will be available for transgender service members, which includes speech therapy, voice therapy, they'll pay for it, speech and voice therapy, cross-sex hormones, laser hair removal, voice feminization surgery. What the hell is that? They change your voice box? They can do that? I didn't know they did that. What the hell is voice feminization surgery? I've never heard of that. Anybody heard of that?
They tighten up your vocal cords?
I don't know. They put a little window in there maybe and put a little, I don't know. It's a
window?
I don't know. Nature's window.
Throat?
Who knows? Voice feminization surgery. Facial contouring. Facial contouring.
So they look pretty.
Yeah. Again, this is all free from transgender service members get taxpayer offended. Facial contouring, body contouring, breast surgery, chest surgery, genital mutilation surgery, psychological counseling. And that's all in number one. That's all in the transgender services of medical type stuff. That's number one. Secondly, trannies may receive a waiver for grooming and uniform standards. For example, you have to get permission to grow a mustache or to have long hair or whatever. You can't just do whatever you want in the military. Until now, unless you're a tranny, you can get a waiver to have a grooming and uniform waivers. So you don't have to do what everybody else does. That's number two. Number three, trannies may receive an indefinite waiver for physical fitness standards. This often becomes a de facto permanent situation. And the tranny identifying service member just has to renew the exemption request every 6 months. In other words, if you're a tranny, they pay for everything to help you become a tranny, and then they give you a waiver for any physical fitness standards, which means you don't have to do a damn push-up. And all you have to do is re-sign every 6 months, and you don't have to do another push-up. Oh, here's another one of my favorites. Number 4. Service trannies will be considered non-deployable for up to 300 days while taking hormones for their transition period. And these hormones are required for life. Therefore, the tranny identifying service member will be permanently unable to deploy. Then why are you joining?
Why are they there?
And by the way, I don't want you in the service with me. I don't want you in a fighting hole. And for the record, it's not a foxhole in the Marine Corps, it's a fighting hole. And no, I have never actually dug my own fighting hole when I was in Vietnam. I never had to dig a fighting hole on my own in Vietnam, so don't give me that. It's called a fighting hole. And I don't want a tranny who's never had any training and never had to do a push-up and was only there because of a mistake when he should have been he or she should have been non-deployed in the first place. This is an outrage. Oh, my God. 447. I'm going to go throw up. I'll be right back. It'll be fine, really.
Fermented cup.
451 with him with the camera and bam. A song Bob Dylan released on this day, like a Rolling Stone, 6 minutes and 13 seconds, at least twice as long as the average pop song, became Bob Dylan's first big hit.
Named the #1 rock song of all time.
Confrontational lyrics originated in an extended piece of verse that Bob Dylan wrote in June of 1965 when he returned exhausted from a grueling tour of England. Like a Rolling Stone peaked at #2 on the U.S. chart. Here it says here, #4 in Britain, but it's one of the most significant rock and roll songs. Anyway, and I saw him in it was 1960. God, I think I saw him in 1963, if I'm not mistaken, at the Boys Club. When he showed up with Judy Collins concert. Anyway, sorry, I told that story 20 years ago, so I can't tell it again.
But he was dressed like Rhino.
Yeah, he was dressed like the Rhino. He was. Pete remembers the story because I did tell it 20 years ago, and Pete reminds me every time I tell the story because he has a history thing there.
We might be getting a phone call from the Rhino around 5:30.
Oh my God! And he showed up in farmer overalls, working overalls, and I think he might have been barefoot. I can't remember. And it was Judy Collins concert, and he all of a sudden showed up on stage, sang a song or two, and disappeared. Never saw him again. Let's see. History note here of some kind. How about this? 1973, 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Martial arts legend Bruce Lee died unexpectedly at the age of 32, a few weeks before the release of Enter the Dragon. Now, they say here in this thing, it says the official cause of death was a brain edema. I thought he was murdered.
That was the rumor that the triad got him or something like that.
Yeah, the Japanese underground or the monsters.
Chinese.
Chinese, Japanese, what's the difference?
There's a huge difference.
Oh, yeah, it's a wonderful difference, a tremendous difference of happiness. What do I know? I'm just a freaking radio
Start
guy.
another war.
Is that a phone call? I can't remember. What's that say? Is that Roberto? Is that what that says? Is that a phone call? Hey, Roberto, you're on the radio, man. How's it going? Thanks for holding. I appreciate it. What's up?
Going well. I just wanted to make a comment about the trans stuff you were just talking about.
Yeah.
If the military already has a recruiting issue, what is this going to do? It's going to double down on that issue as well as causing problems with retention. How many people are going to reconsider staying in with this kind of stuff going on?
Yeah, and not only that, you have to remember during Vietnam they lowered the standards, and at some point, and again later on when there was no draft and they really needed people, they lowered them even more. It used to be if you had a tattoo they wouldn't take you. If you were in the military, if you had a tattoo you were ineligible. If you had ever smoked pot in your life, I don't think you could ever join the military, even join the army. But I think all that stuff's gone now, and if they keep doing this, and again the recruiting is way. In fact, I have a story right here about it. It's like thanks for bringing it up, Roberto. A story right here. There's a guy quoted talking about they ought to have a pilot program for the use of your GI benefits to help GIs start a business when they get out, as opposed to just simply only going to college. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But still, when you start lowering and changing the standards, what do you think you're going to get? What are they expecting? And honestly, and I'm not afraid. There's no transphobia around here. I'm not afraid of trannies. I'm not afraid of anybody. But again, I have to tell you, I would be very, very nervous about having somebody who is able to skip out on all kinds of exercise and has all kinds of other phony parts inside of them, and contouring and genital mutilation and psychological counseling and all this kind of stuff, and then never had to go to boot camp, never had to do a damn push-up. I don't want that kind of person. My life depending on him. The whole point of going to boot camp is to get your link together with your buddies, so you'll be willing to die and kill for each other. What do you think that's going to be fitting? You think they're going to do this now? Come on, man. Jeez. Oh, you don't have to go do any physical stuff. No, we'll waive the physical thing, and of course it'd be permanent, so you don't ever have to do any physical stuff. God, we had a guy die at Camp Lejeune infantry training. One of the guys in my platoon died. Well, and I was a squad leader because I'd been PFC out of Paris Island, and so it was one of my guys dropped dead. It was in the winter. It was in freaking December. It's cold. We were wearing nothing but T-shirts and full pack and a 14-pound M14 rifle. And we were running and jogging in, forced march through the damn snow at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he dropped dead. And we thought, boy, that's a shame. That's horrible. I guess this is really freaking serious, isn't it? God, I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up. I haven't thought about that. Sorry. Son of a bitch. This is just crap. It's just crap. That man dropped dead trying to be a Marine. He dropped freaking dead trying to be a Marine. And these sons of bitches want to have trannies who are too special to be able to do a goddamn push-up. Well, you can all kiss my ass. He dropped dead for his country because he wanted to be a Marine. And his head was there and his heart was there and his body gave out on him. And he's dead forever. This was just in December of 1966. In my platoon. Infantry training. Dropped dead. Because he was trying to be a Marine to go to Vietnam. Because we all knew that's where we're going when you joined the Marines in 1966. And now these little pansies want to be able to get out of all the recruit training, God forbid, because they don't look as pretty in their new dress. I tell you, try to come on and do that with me one time. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. All right. Holy Crap of Sports is coming up. Oh, guess what? We have a comedy bit.
Nice segue.
It's 5 o'clock. My God, man. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Ain't no trannies in my beloved Corps. Sissy's going to die. Road guards out. Ready on your dog. Target. Freaking trannies. My God, man. My God, man. By the way, it's 5:04 there. It's only the camera. I think I scared half the staff away. I was getting a little animated and a little loud in here a few minutes ago. If you just joined us, and the guys were ready to leave the
staff has left the building,
and they were looking through the big. We have a big picture window here where everybody can see when you come in the door. You can see the first thing you see is the studio and me sitting here, and they would look like, oh my God, it's over. He's gone. Get the guns or something, So, but it's, anyway, I will talk more about it, but I've got to relax a second. I was just telling Flounder a second, I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about that in almost 60 years. I mean, that's, you got to be, that's just... and now, it's just outrageous. These training. We'll talk more. If you just join us, we'll get the whole thing. Also, we're gonna do a comedy thing here in a minute, Flounder. I swear to God, for something. And you're going to hear Robert Kennedy Jr. stuff. You're going to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. You're going to hear President White Trash stuff. You're going to hear the mayor of New York. The mayor of New York's complaining about the people are coming to New York now. It's freaking hysterical. Also, we didn't really cover the story of the serial killer in New York. But I've got a story of how his family was notified about him. Anyway, it's kind of interesting, and put yourself in their shoes. And now what's going to happen to them? You think they'll ever be able to? They're going to have to change their name or move, across. Anyway, whatever. Okay, now one other thing. I wanted to do this, and again, I'm calming myself because I'm really our country's what the hell's going on here with the freaking military? Honest to God. Okay, sorry. Okay, now. I got to put on the things here for the thing. Okay, I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, for my entire life, since I remember in the, early 60s, I have had a crush on the actress Natalie Wood. I thought oh my Lord, everything about her I thought I loved her. She was my goddess. Well, this is Natalie Wood's birthday. She was born on this day in 1938. She died in 1981, and we're going to get to that in a second. And the reason I'm mentioning this is to calm me down, because we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff here for this whole last hour. But Natalie Wood was one of the three main characters in the very famous movie Rebel Without a Cause from 1955. Remember? 1955, Rebel Without a Cause. Natalie Wood, James Dean, Sal Mineo, all met an untimely death. Excuse me. Remember Sal Mineo, famous actor from, if you're of a certain age, he was stabbed to death in Hollywood. He was parking his car behind his apartment when neighbors heard him scream. A white man with brown hair was fleeing the scene. By the time they reached him, he was almost dead, died a few minutes later. Famous teen actor of the 50s. He was in Rebel Without a Cause. He also was in The Longest Day, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. He was in that movie where they led the Jews out of Israel to try to find a home or whatever it was. I can't remember what that one was. Exodus. I think he was in that too. Police searched in vain for his killer's identity. At first, they suspected his work for prison reform put him in contact with a dangerous ex-con, but then their focus shifted because they discovered his home was filled with pictures of nude men. Again, this is in 1955 or somewhere. It was in the movie. Out of the blue, though, then Michigan authorities reported that a guy arrested on bad check charges was bragging that he killed Sal Mineo. He later retracted it, and his wife in Los Angeles said he came home the night of the murder drenched in blood. The discrepancy was he's black and he has an afro, and all the eyewitnesses said the guy was a white man with long brown hair. But the police found an old photo of this suspected killer in which his hair had been dyed brown and processed so it was straight and long, and they had made a cast of his knife and found it was anyway, they caught the guy who killed Sal Mineo, but they was one, James Dean. September 30th, 1955, 24-year-old James Dean, the famous actor, killed in his Porsche driving in California. He hit a Ford Tudor sedan at an intersection. The driver of the other car was a 23-year-old California Polytech student, Donald Turnipseed, who was dazed but mostly unhurt. Dean's passenger, the German Porsche mechanic Rolf Weatherin, was badly hurt but lived. Only one of Dean's movies, East of Eden, had been released at the time of his death. Rebel Without a Cause and Giant opened shortly thereafterwards. But he was already on his way to superstardom, and the crash made him a legend. He loved racing cars. He had a brand new listen to this, Pete, his brand new $7,000 Porsche Spyder convertible. $7,000. He was on his way to a race in Salinas, California, south of San Francisco. Witnesses maintain he had not been speeding at the time of the accident, but Turnipseed, they say, had made a left turn right into the Spyder's path, the other car he hit. But some people point out that he must have been driving awfully fast. He had gotten a speeding ticket in Bakersfield, listen to this. He got a speeding ticket in Bakersfield, 84 miles from the crash site at 3:30 in the afternoon. He then stopped for a Coke at a diner, which meant he'd covered quite a distance in a relatively short period of time. They figured he must have been really going fast. But the evening twilight and glare from the setting sun would have made it impossible for Turnipseed, the other driver, to see the Porsche coming no matter how fast it was going. The rumors were that Dean's car, which he nicknamed the Little Bastard, was cursed. Have you ever heard this, Pete?
The Alec Guinness story?
After the accident, the car rolled off the back of a truck and crushed the legs of a mechanic standing nearby. Later, a used car dealer sold its parts to buyers all over the country, and the strange incidents multiplied. The car's engine, transmission, and tires were transplanted into cars that were involved in deadly crashes. A truck carrying Spyder's chassis to a highway safety exhibition skidded off the road and killed the driver. The remains of the car vanished from the scene of the accident and haven't been seen since. The other guy, Woolrich, the guy whose feelings of guilt after the car accident never abated, tried to commit suicide twice in the 1960s, stabbing himself 14. Oh my God. This is the mechanic. He had guilt about the car. He tried to commit suicide in 1967. He stabbed his wife 14 times with a kitchen knife in a failed murder-suicide, and then he died in a drunk driving accident in 1981. And the other guy, the other driver, the other car, Turnipseed, died of lung cancer in 1995. Holy smokes. Now, one more thing about Natalie Wood. The Los Angeles County has cleared Robert Wagner as the murderer of the late wife, Natalie Wood. All leads in the case, this is cleared several years ago, have been exhausted. The case is still an open, unsolved case. It was Thanksgiving weekend, 1981. Age 43, Natalie Wood drowned while she was on the boat with Robert Wagner, her husband, and Christopher Walken, who apparently was her lover, maybe? Anyway, a detective retired says they've interviewed witnesses. There had been a fight. Natalie Wood was arguing with her husband, Wagner, who's now 92 years old, apparently over Christopher Walken, and she was drinking and all of a sudden went overboard and died and drowned. Her sister, Lana Wood, says, I don't believe it was premeditated, but I think, of course, Robert Wagner is responsible for her death. He didn't do it on purpose, but he did it. She's claiming they had a fight and then she fell over and he didn't try to get her or whatever. Anyway, Lana also alleges in the same book that Kirk Douglas raped Natalie Wood when she was a teenager at 16 years old. Her mommy dropped her off at Chateau Marmont to meet Kirk Douglas, the important actor at the time. Lana, with the sister, was asleep in the car when Natalie finally came back, disheveled and upset, whispering, angry at their mother. Natalie told her sister what had happened, that they had arranged a meeting with Kirk Douglas. She said, I knocked on the door Mom told me to go to. The next thing I know, Kirk Douglas was ushering me into a suite. Then she began to cry and said, he hurt me, Lana. He hurt me. It was like out-of-body experience. I was terrified. I was confused. And Lana, her sister, says it affected her entire life, how she looked at things and men, but nobody did anything about it. And my mom told her that she'd ruin her career and never work again. Natalie was so guarded after that and mistrusted men. Wow. Anyway, 5:13. Well, there goes that segment. Sorry. Well, I had to do it. Now I'm calm. We'll have Holy Crap at Sports. You're going to hear Robert Kennedy Jr. getting screwed by the Dems. We got all this stuff. Good sound bites and fun stuff. And it's coming up next. 5:13 here with the Kimmer and Flounder and Pete and Mr. Wizard and Early Morning Joe, I think, is still with us, too, our liberal friend. All right, look out. Here we go. Look out.
homered to break it up. Then Riley's 3-run shot with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th gave the Bravos the lead as they came from behind to beat the Diamondbacks 7-5 and avoid a 3-game sweep. Spencer Strider struck out more men than Madonna has betted.
Hey.
But they were still trailing late in the game. Matt Olson had 2 homers and leads the National League with 32 now. Kirby Yates picked up the win. They're now flying off to Milwaukee for 3 games. And despite only winning like 2 of their last 6 games, they've opened up their largest lead of the season at 10.5 games.
Oh, my God.
So the other ones are just sinking slowly in the East. Atlanta's the only team without a 5-game losing streak since 2018.
That is rare. I mean, every team goes well, as you could say, it's the only team without one. So that's that's great.
Dave O'Brien had that little stat. I appreciate that. And by the way, you're talking about the Porsche that he was driving. You know, the actor. What was his name again?
James Dean.
James Dean, sir. Yeah. A few days before, when he bought the car, he showed it to his friend Alec Guinness, and Guinness took one look at it, and it said something just went up his spine. He says, "You need to sell that car. It's going to kill you."
Oh, is that? Oh, I remember that. I think you may have told that a long time. Oh my God, that's right.
Spooky.
Yeah, it is. And he was only like 25 years old or something. Movie.
All right. In the past, you've accused me of burying the lead.
I have.
So I will not bury the lead this time.
Please do, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Georgia Tech senior.
Yeah.
Christo Lemprecht. From South Africa. Is in a 3-way tie after the first round of the British Open at Royal Liverpool.
Outstanding.
Yes, that's pretty. 6'8".
No kidding! Oh my God! Well, I can't wait. In fact, I forgot. I was doing stuff this morning, and I turned on the Open because it's on at 2:00 in the morning or something over here, and I just couldn't watch it because I was too busy doing stuff for the show. But I had no idea 6'8", and as a golfer can do. I mean, the taller you are, the harder it is to play golf. It's way harder for tall players to play golf. Way harder.
Well, not for the first day over there. So good luck to him on that one. They had good weather today, from what I saw earlier. So. No complaints.
Yeah, that won't last.
Hopefully not. I like the bad weather.
I love to see it storming, coming off the Firth of Ninth or whatever the hell, the Gorth of Firth or some freaking thing.
So somewhere near Liverpool. Actually, it's the Irish Sea that it comes off.
Yes, me laddie. I do. Top of the morning to you, but Jesus, me boyo.
1976, Hank Aaron hit the final home run of his career, number 755, off the Angels' Dick Drago. It should have been number 756, but the late a-hole Tim McCarver stole a home run by claiming, he was out of the batter's box, and the umpire called him out.
Unbelievable.
Yes, horrible. 1993, the game against the Cardinals delayed for an hour after a fire broke out at the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium's skybox. I wonder how that happened.
Well, golly darn. Tell the story.
I think it was a sterno cup.
It was a sterno can. That's right. We had, that was a press box, and they were guests and everything at our radio station, all stuff, and all of a sudden somebody had a can of sterno and left unattended, and something happened and it set the whole damn thing on fire. And do you have one of those pictures? I have one of the pictures. I think Nancy Haystack, I can't remember who took it, but anyway, of Lemmer and Jeff Blauser arm in arm in front of the flaming giant flames leaving behind them.
Wasn't it Walter, the great photographer that was raised for so many decades?
Yeah, what a great guy.
I think his name was Walter.
I think it was too. And Lemmer and Jeff Blauser signed that picture. I have that somewhere. Cool.
Of course, that was the night that Fred McGriff pinch hit a home run. They rallied from a 5-0 deficit to win 7-5, and became that historic comeback. They overcame the Giants, a 9.5 game lead, the last great pennant race, they call it.
Yep. Good one.
2012, the Braves erased a 9-0 deficit to take that 10-9 lead into the 9th against Washington, but the Nationals tied the game against Craig Kimbrell, but Atlanta walked it off in the 11th. They were 9-0 down and came back to win that game. This is bad news here. Marlins third base coach Jody Reed has fractured his lower right leg. He was struck by a foul ball off the bat of Jesus Sanchez. I bet he yelled Jesus when it hit him.
Wow.
They were playing the Cardinals, and he walked around a little bit, then they took him out because it fractured his leg. And at least Jody had that happen to him, but Mariners outfielder Jared Kelenic broke his left foot last night after kicking the water cooler.
Idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Brett sent me a message that was posted on the big scoreboard at the Coors Field in Denver during a Rockies game, and it read, Using a stethoscope to listen to your heart, a cardiologist can detect narrow valves, valve leakage, and abnormal rhythms. But don't ask him to check your heart, Becky. That crushed Titanic sub has more life inside it than that collapsed troll cave you call a chest cavity.
Oh, my God. Becky? And do we know about this Becky person?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine looking up and seeing that on the...
They had to show... I wonder if it was like a kiss cam thing or something? What the hell was that? Can you just put up any message you want on board or something? Oh, my
or
God.
Somebody hacked it, I guess.
I guess. Wow.
The AJC has been caught making stuff up again, allegedly.
Yeah.
Spencer Davis, Saturday Down South, has a really good rundown of the story. The rag sheet issued, the AJC rag sheet, issued multiple corrections to a story from earlier this summer that investigated the Georgia football program. The AJC has fired the author of the article, investigative reporter Alan Judd, for violating the organization's journalistic standards.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I have a hard time getting through that one.
Oh, my God.
Alan, you're fired. You're fired.
And they had to throw somebody under the bus, so they just fired the reporter. One of the problems was they could not substantiate a key assertion in the article about Kirby Smart's tenure, that 11 players stayed with the team, and they couldn't precisely say there was really 11. It might have been a different number. So that's how that was one of the excuses. Well, the reporter got that wrong, so we have to fire him. So you're right. And by the way, it was not a retraction. They very deliberately said it is not a retraction, it's a correction. And it's a huge difference. They also strung two lines together in one sentence that it didn't make anything difference in how you read it, but it wasn't correct. And so those two little teeny things are what they now are saying. Well, we've looked into this and found we stand by our story. There were a couple little corrections, but we fired the guy, but everything's fine now. What a crock! What standards? How about the standard of how you've never said a damn thing about the Hunter Biden and Joe Biden crime family? How about you've never done anything to play the truth about what's going on with all the business of the IRS investigation and the Department of Justice and the FGI, the Federal Gestapo investigation? What standards? This is the most disgraceful national, major newspaper in the country. Disgraceful. No wonder they're going out of business. No wonder they lost half of them with the Journal in the afternoon years ago, and now they're actually going to stop printing. You have to get it on your phone if you want to read the stinking rag.
Outside of a few people, there's no more arrogant people on this planet than newspaper people.
It's unbelievable. And the nerve to say they have journalistic standards. You have no standards. Shame on you. You're a disgrace. I don't know how you look at yourself in the mirror. You editors over there, oh, let's not cover that. That might help the Republican. Just scandalous. Anti-American traitors. You're guilty of treason as far as I'm concerned. God, honest to God, just a disgraceful standards. Puke. I'm sorry, you're still doing sports. Huh?
Meanwhile, Vikings rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota for driving his Lamborghini Urus. Never heard of a Urus.
Wow.
U-R-U-S.
Yeah.
140 miles per hour in a 55 zone.
A 55?
Yeah.
That's going to be a little obvious. Doing maybe 62 or something, you can get away with it.
Amazingly, he did not matriculate in Athens.
I wouldn't think so. Oh, my God.
Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin spoke earlier today at the SEC Media Games in Nashville and said all these problems college football is having with the name, image, and likeness, or NIL, N-I-L, is because the sport has legalized cheating. Some of the grand poobahs of the sport are now in Washington, D.C., lobbying for Congress to make some sort of national law about it. And their efforts seem to be gaining ground, a bipartisan effort on both sides. But be careful what you wish for when Congress gets involved.
And what does he mean by cheating? In that you can try to get one player who's going to be more...
You just outpay the other school.
Yeah.
And the rich schools will outbid the lower schools. That's just what's going to happen.
Well, there's going to have to be some kind of a pool or something like they do with the.
Well, they want health care now too, which makes sense. So they're
pool would be nice, but pond
would be good for you. Well, it'd be like having a luxury tax that a baseball team, the Yankees, have to pay for having too many good players. I don't know.
They'll screw it up.
It's all getting out of hand. It's unbelievable.
And more wokeness word games, the Colonial Athletic Association, or Conference, has been renamed the Coastal Athletic Conference.
Colonial is now offensive? Racist, yes. I'm guessing?
Well, they say it's because...
Unbelievable. Colonial? You can't say colonial?
No, you cannot. In fact, you just said it, and you shouldn't say it.
Oh, my God.
1969 on this date at Connie Mack Stadium, Philadelphia, the Astros and Phils moved silently to their respective baselines and looked skyward when the PA announcer informs the crowd the Eagle has landed on the moon. They played a recording of Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America, and along with a prayer for the safety of the astronauts over the loudspeaker, and then the game resumed.
Outstanding.
Amazing.
Outstanding.
That's basically sports. Oh, boy, happy birthday. He's not with us anymore. Jake Scott, the great University of Georgia player, Hall of Fame safety, played for the Dolphins, won Super Bowls with them.
I remember.
No-name defense.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was on the perfect team, I think, too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
72 or 3 or whatever.
Greenwood, South Carolina. He died 3 years ago.
I'll be darned. Well, that's a good memory. Pete, thank you, sir. 529 coming up. But we're going to talk about some of the pitfalls of winning the Powerball. One guy, apparently, I guess near a slum in Los Angeles, one single ticket from a guy in some food mart in the ghetto. Can you imagine? Holy smokes! I mean, I wonder if he speaks English. What do you bet? What do you bet it's an illegal immigrant who got the ticket? So he's going to have to find somebody to get it for him. What kind of a deal would you make to have an illegal immigrant?
Hey,
I'll do it for you. I'll take $200 million.
Ernesto, give me that $1 billion check.
Oh my God!
Or I shall kill you.
5:30 coming up with a Kimmer, Pete Flounder, and Mr. Wizard, and early morning Joe the Liberal standing by. Look out. 5:30, it's only the kid right here, but boys, and we got more fun stuff coming. A little comedy bit or two coming up here shortly, and some other.
We may have a calling from the Rhino.
Oh no, the Rhino is on the. He got out of the. They let him out. Oh my God! All right, well, I thought there was still a probation thing. Anyway, speaking of probation, if you want to feel safe and protect your assets, Atlanta Safe House, and I can't tell you how much I really appreciate these folks. Years and years ago, I started doing business with them. They've been in business for decades, and I bought 2 safes from them, both gun safes. In fact, one I gave to my former producer, Wayne, no offense. And the 2 safes I had actually one, I had them bolted into the concrete floor in my garage and also into the game room right through the concrete. They are the #1 delivery and professional installation service for safes in the whole state. They will put it any way and anyhow you want it. And it's not just big gun safes, and obviously if you're a new gun owner, maybe you have a wife or husband who's a little nervous about it, get yourself a safe and everything's fine. Everybody's happy and you're safe and secure. But my biggest complaint about myself was that I was down in Florida when I lost my medical records from my cancer thing and the VAs and the veterans, whatever. Anyway, and so if I'd had my safe down there, I would have had my documents. That's where you're supposed to keep them. And you don't need like a 10-foot safe or something. They have jewelry safes and business safes, high security safes, all the great brands. Browne, I think both of mine were Browning and American Security. They are a professional delivery crew. They have. Ask about the big red safe. Might be just the thing for you. Protecting your assets. And by the other day, I saw a guy. I forgot whether it was Walmart. I think it was. And he's looking at these little plastic boxes with a little teeny key in them. That's not a safe. That's not going to work. And by the way, in your safe, you don't keep your social security card in your wallet and your birth certificate, stuff like that. No. In your safe. Now you need a safe. Where do you get it? Here's where you go. AtlantaSafeHouse.com. Yeah, baby. The Beach Boys, although it's not really the Beach Boys now, is it? Well, this is amazing. In my headphones, it's back to the old-fashioned stereo. Can you hear that in yours, too? Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
It goes back and forth, left, right. How cool. It's like the old one, stereo first. Well, you guys are too young to know. When stereo first came out, I'm telling you, it was amazing. I mean, if you had all of a sudden you put on a pair of headphones and you got, oh, wham, it was like if you'd never heard anything like it. But actually stereophonic. Holy cow. Anyway, you can keep playing. This is, on this day, 1963, Jan and Dean started a 2-week run at #1 on the singles charts with Surf City, which was written by the Beach Boys' Brian Wilson, with the Beach Boys on the backing vocals. It only made number 26 in Britain. Well, they don't do a lot of surfing in Britain, I guess, probably. Maybe on the rain clouds. Anyway, that's 63, Jan and Dean. Holy cow. Now, that's rock. That's music. That's my stuff. Quick thing of note here. Oh, we got a phone call? A special phone call. Hold on. We'll get right to it. Kim Carnes, who stole Betty Davis's eyes one night in a drunken brawl. 78 years old, though, Kim Carnes. Never liked her. Fine by me. I really don't care one way or the other. Never liked her stuff. 5 years ago, 2018, James Gunn was fired as director of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 over some old tweets. He had since been rehired, and the movie hit theaters in 2023 this year. So, all right, that's all I got. That's all I know. Should to the phones? We got some comedy. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Standing by. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:37. Remember where you are right now on this day. It's the Rhino! The Rhino!
What's up?
He's up
and great show.
Great
show as always. Listen,
yes.
What makes your show so great is everybody relates to it. And I want to give you 2 examples of how I did.
All right,
First of all, Lori from Mobile.
Yeah.
She is a good mother. My mother used to say the same thing. Scott, you're a boy.
Yeah.
You have a penis.
That's right.
She also told me it's not a toy, so stop playing with it. That was last week. I also heard you guys mention The Sopranos. Did you know they're recasting it?
Oh, I did not know that.
That's true. It is. They are recasting it with black, lesbian, trans women, of course, and they only put out hits on black Republicans, because of white supremacy. So.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I love it.
But no, let's talk about something serious. Your love life here, okay?
Oh my God,
we are moving ahead.
It's love. Yeah, it was all in my head. 30 years, all in my head. Sorry.
We're excited about this, Kimmer. I mean, are you excited? We're starting to get some hits.
Well, now
about some of these women.
All right. Well, now you have to understand something. And I mentioned this earlier. If you think for 1 minute that you're going to be hiring some secret TV crew to have the Kimmer get caught on some weekend of love with the seniors of the American Atlanta radio at the Ritz-Carlton in Little Buckhead or something, I mean, you're sadly mistaken. So I don't know where you think you're going with this, but so far I don't even know what's going on.
We want this serious. We're taking this very serious, and we got some ideas today of what these women are looking for and looking like, and we found a lot of beautiful, beautiful women. Kimmer, I think you're going to be super impressed.
Wait a minute.
I really did.
Now, wait a minute. Are you actually serious? That women? Am I on a website? I mean, am I in someplace or what?
Oh yeah.
So
what I did was, I put up pictures, and we put up some normal pictures of you doing the show with Pete.
Okay.
We also, let everybody know who you are.
Yeah.
And then we also, just because you've gotten a little skinny, we decided to put your head on Vladimir Putin's body with a AR-15, one of them shirtless, of course,
yes.
And then one riding a horse. I mean, it's exactly who you are.
Well, there you are. Well, I've got pictures of me riding a horse if you want actual pictures of me riding my horse.
This one relates better.
Now, are women actually sending you pictures of themselves and that you're looking at on this? Are you getting responses, you mean, with actual video or pictures or whatever?
Well, not yet.
No,
But,
good. Well,
you know,
that's as it should
I'm sure
be.
they're going to start getting. I'm sure they're going to.
Traction will be headed soon.
This is going to be a disaster. I'm telling you. I'm warning you right now. And by the way, if I'm going to go on the record right now, no matter what happens with anything, I don't mind you picking on me and having a good time with me because I'm all for anything. Just the fact that I'm still walking on the right side of the freaking grass, to be honest with you. But I would never want any woman to feel, embarrassed or set up, or if she shows up, oh my God, that's the guy you were talking about. I don't want to put some woman through the trauma of her life on this. But other than that, I'm kind of curious as to where the hell this is going. And by the way,
it'll be fun. And don't worry, we're going to dress you up. We're going to dress you up. You don't have to worry about wearing. I heard you say that the other day.
Well, that's true. That's true. If I were going on a date, I would not know what to wear. I mean, literally.
What you're wearing now is fine. You got a pair of jeans, a pair of cowboy boots, and a collared shirt.
Kimmer, that's it. That's it. We might get you in a button down.
The Rhino.
Hey, guys, also, I want to tell you, we had a protest down at the stadium today. Abortion activists versus anti-abortion activists. You won't believe who this woman was that was a abortion activist, and she wouldn't talk to us. So tune in tomorrow to the Morning Extra. You'll hear all the sound from this protest, and I'm putting that in quotes.
Excellent.
So, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. It'll be great.
Oh, outstanding! From 6 to 10 now, an extra hour in the morning. I knew there was like a day of faith day at the ballpark or something like that. So you knew that they were going to have the haters were going to show up. It's too bad. Well,
of course.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it because whether TV cameras there, or if they'll be on the news, we'll be listening to you in the morning.
No,
that's for sure.
They might have come out after, but when I was there during the game and before the game, we were the only station covering it.
Outstanding.
So
all right.
But we had some really good information about it.
Beautiful.
So make sure you tune in tomorrow.
All right, the Rhino and boys in the morning. All right, thanks, the Rhino. Have a good one, man.
Did you know
yes.
that the Rhino was the man who held up the wrong cue card for Neil Armstrong?
I thought it was a rumor. Are you serious? We've confirmed that now?
Yeah,
oh, my God.
From NASA.
Yeah, man, he's everywhere.
Straight from NASA.
It's unbelievable. 5:42. Can we do a comedy bit? I've been promising it for 3 hours.
Big boy.
Well, I finally did.
Right, this is Rafi Bastos, and he's complaining about English verbs.
Oh, my. All right, here we go.
Verbs in past tense. They're very easy. Look at this. Arrive, arrived. Play, played. Visit, visited. Sleep, what the f***? Come, have no idea. What about go? The past of the verb go is went. How would I know that? It's not even close. There's no one letter in go that is also in went. Went should be the past of the verb want, but the past of the verb want is wanted. What do you guys want?
They say, I always thought Chinese or something would be the hardest language. They say English is the hardest language to learn.
Because there's so much slang.
Well, yeah, and double meanings of words. I mean, the one word means 9 different things. Too.
Bad?
Well, but even things like, I can't, of course, think of one right now, but... Here. H-E-A-R, yeah. Anyway.
Seinfeld has a really funny bit he did, and it's pretty new. I'll try and find it for tomorrow.
Cool. Excellent.
There's the Finnish guy. You ever seen the guy from Finland talk about the language?
Yes, that one's really funny.
Oh, we'll do both of those tomorrow.
I'll find those.
There, you're all set for tomorrow. Almost time for a quick thing here before we go, but for a quick break. We haven't covered much of the story in Massapequa, New York. The serial killer, the 59-year-old architect who apparently been butchering up women, sex workers, and stuff like that many years ago. Well, he's been arrested and so on and so forth. But here's what happened. Here's how the family found out about it. The wife, her name is Asa, the wife of the suspected killer, was pictured for the first time as she has now filed for divorce after her husband was now being arrested. Her lawyer said, here's what happened. It's all still a whirlwind. She and her children have been so completely had their lives turned upside down. An hour after the Suffolk County Police arrested her husband, the 59-year-old architect, at his office, authorities arrived a few minutes after that at the family home in Massapequa Park and informed his wife and adult children that he had been arrested as a serial murderer. They seized the family's... Again, they just said, by the way, we've got your husband in custody. He's the serial murderer we've been looking for all these years. Then they seized the family's passports, their computers, their phones, their iPads. They were home when the cops came in. They were completely blindsided. They told them what was going on. They continued to process the scene. They recovered hundreds of guns at the family home and other evidence, including a portrait of a battered woman. They searched their property in South Carolina, seized pickup trucks and a couple of cars, the same make as the suspect vehicles in the disappearance of one of the girls. And I did not know this. Police also found the wife's DNA on one of the victims. But she was not anywhere near. She was out of town during every one of the murders, so they don't. But can you imagine he had done something involving his wife, fluids, and then it was spread to the woman he murdered? My God, man. Anyway, 5:46. Jeez, sorry I said anything. 5:46, actually. Sorry, here we go.
employee of Owasco, but I would like to point out this is not really what most paralegals do.
On her knees at the time. at least.
Now, wait a minute. I've dated a paralegal.
Yeah, don't go too far now. let's not get out of hand. We don't, we're not complaining about it. We're not saying.
All briefs they handle with paper.
No, we don't want thing. And in case you missed it, the big story of the day earlier and for many hours was the hearing again today where Democrats tried to censor Robert Kennedy Jr. because they didn't want America to hear him because he's running against Joe crime family, the white trash of America. And here's another bite from that hearing today. Flounder, if you would, sir.
After I announced my presidency, it became more difficult for people to censor me outright. So now I'm subject to this new form of censorship, which is called targeted propaganda, where people apply pejoratives like anti-vax. I've never been anti-vaccine, but everybody in this room probably believes that I have been, because that's the prevailing narrative. Anti-Semitism, racism, these are the most appalling, disgusting pejoratives, and they're applied to me to silence me, because people don't want me to have that conversation about the war, about groceries, about inflation, about the war on the middle class in this country that we need to be having.
That disgraceful Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the liar and hater from Florida, Democrat, claimed that Robert Kennedy Jr. had made despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments, which was just made up complete crap. Complete crap.
We could do with AI, and they can't do it now probably, but soon, is he gets talking to a microphone, and AI could turn his words into a normal human-sounding voice at some point.
I wonder if he could get a voice box to just have it go.
Well, that sounds metallic and robotic. He doesn't want that, but with
modern technology, they could use his voice. In other words, it would be like a half a second delay, but it would be. I'll bet somebody could come up with that. Oh, my God. And by the way, what's to stop us from having somebody else's voice? I mean,
I patented that, by the way. I'm trademarking that idea, by the way.
Oh, sorry. We'll just...
5:58.
That won't last long. Yeah, keep track. Oh, my God. Those freaking Democrats. By the way, tomorrow I'm going to talk about some of the pitfalls of winning the lottery. And again, it was one person. I haven't seen anything about the identity, but it was apparently a ticket bought in like one of the slum ghetto area bodegas or something in Los Angeles, on some bad section of Los Angeles. And I guarantee you the guy doesn't speak English, or woman, and they're going to have to make a deal with somebody who does to me. I'll give you $400 million to turn this in for me, something. Oh my God.
Can an illegal buy a ticket?
Well, sure. They don't get an ID when you buy a ticket. You just buy the ticket. You can get out of machines.
Yeah,
they're lottery machines.
And in California, they don't tax the lottery.
And there's I learned that today. I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
If you win lottery ticket in California, you get to keep all of it. I guess it must be a state tax. There are no other. I'll bet they put it into your lump of your earnings, though, and get you somehow. I find that hard to believe they wouldn't do that. Anyway, I don't know. All right, look, tomorrow's Let Her Rip Friday. We'll all be in the house together and having a little fun. And Let Her Rip, anything goes. And I guess that means anything goes. We got a lot of leftover stuff, too, but I never got to, Pete, so we'll get that going for us tomorrow. And other than that, God bless America. Thank you. Oorah, Semper Fi. I gotta go, you're killing me. Herp and double herp. Whoo, look out.
Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
A lot of questions. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A lack of